All right, we'll go ahead and call to order the September 2nd Planning and Zoning Commission. We could have a roll call, please.
Okay, you have to bear with me. Oh, I'm doing clerk duties as well, so prepare for, this will be good. Ahern.
Here.
Bafke.
Here.
Janezer.
Here.
Mickelson.
Here.
Willer.
Here.
And Yachty.
Here. All right, thank you. Item number 2 on the agenda, election of chairperson and election of vice chairperson. Do we have nominations for vice chairperson?
Do we vote for chair or vice chair first? Does it matter?
I believe you'd vote for the chairperson first, as it's listed
Do we have
first.
nominations for chairperson?
I'd nominate Yachty.
All right.
Do you move to nominate Yachty?
Yes, I move to nominate Yachty. You must have whispered that
Do
too.
we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Great.
Now you guys can talk about whether you think that's a great idea or not.
And you accept it clearly.
I think it's a great idea.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
you've
Yes.
done a great job.
You've done a really good job.
Yeah,
Okay.
we appreciate it.
So we need to do a vote for that before we move
Voice
on.
vote's fine.
All right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on, I'll accept nominations for the vice chairperson.
I move to nominate Ahern for the vice chair.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you guys for your service.
Yes, thank you. No problem.
All right, moving on to item number 3, approval of the agenda. Do you have, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll move on to item number 4, public comment on any topic not on the agenda. Do we have any public comment? Great. Moving on to item number 5, which is a preliminary subdivision plat. We'll start with a staff presentation.
Okay, thank you. This is the property. We're familiar with it. Both sides of Dubuque Street. It's 162, a little over 162 acres. And the property, like I said, is located on both sides of Dubuque Street, just south of Juniper. And you could see it up on our aerial screen there. We've got several zonings here. We've got RS6, RS9, RD10, RM12, and RM14, which was recently approved, and that's shown on the map on the left. And the future land use map designations are urban low intensity, urban medium intensity, and parks and open space. So zoning is consistent with the future land use. Please recall that we had 2 good neighbor meetings in conjunction with the rezoning and the subdivision layout. Those were both very well attended meetings. Appreciate that people took out the time to provide public input, and the input received really just guided the changes that occurred in the zoning and are reflected in the current design that you see in front of you today. Pretty straightforward subdivision layout. I can pull it up. Just a couple of issues that we talked about on Dubuque Street. We showed 2 roundabouts. The traffic study that they had produced identified a roundabout or some type of intersection improvement need at the intersection of Seven Oaks Boulevard, which is really the main entrance into their subdivision, and on the east side goes up into the Greenbelt subdivision. The second one is a roundabout at Tartan. Tartan is always been planned to extend out to Front Street and continue all the way to the east end. We envision that being a city project that we hope to incorporate into some work that we were doing on Dubuque Street in a couple of years. And really, we looked at Tartan Street too as a need for some traffic calming along Tartan Street. I think building long straight roads are great. They encourage people to speed, and that's exactly what we're trying not to do. So it's an opportunity for some creativity along there to incorporate some traffic calming in the design. Again, I just want to point out this is a preliminary plat, so a lot of this is just kind of on a conceptual level of how things lay out, where stormwater detention ponds and where lots are going and things like that. My understanding is they're going to start the development at the northeast corner of the property because that's where utilities are and the easiest of connections, and then work their way on the east side, and then eventually work their way over on the west side. Let's see, the preserve is about 75 acres, and it's taken several years to ultimately build that out. So this is twice as big. So you can expect probably twice as long, although sometimes market change. And we are seeing some subdivisions in town that are super active just because we don't have a lot of available lots in the city. So you're just not quite sure. Again, I can go back to the subdivision plat if we have questions, but there are two findings that achieves consistency with the comprehensive plan and the consistency with approval standards, and staff recommends you accept those two listed findings and forward the request to City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you. All right, do we have an applicant presentation?
Good evening, everyone. Randy Lang with Watts Group. And we don't have a lot to add other than a great deal of thought and collaboration and preparation has gone into this to get to this point. And it's certainly been a collaboration with not only the city, but its community members and obviously internally. So we recognize this as a front door of the community, and a lot of thought's gone into that. So we would open it up. John Marner's here with me from MMS. Open it up to any questions staff may have.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any public comment? All right, any questions, comments, discussion?
No, I think Russ answered my question, which is what starts development first, which is kind of phase one, and it's the northeast corner there. So you can tie into utilities.
Well, and what's the step after this? The preliminary site plan would have to come in, or no?
Okay, so so normally in a subdivision, you'll have the preliminary plat gets approved, and then subsequently they'll identify a certain phase that they want to develop, submit construction plans for city staff to administratively review, and a draft of the final plat. Developer's agreement gets approved, they can begin construction, and then once the improvements are ready to be accepted, that's when it goes to City Council, and then the final plat is approved. So typically you'll have a good season of construction where they need to construct the roads and the improvements and all of that. And they'll identify a small phase that they'll develop, and then that gets accepted and the final plat gets approved.
Great, thank you.
Is there any anticipation of the city putting in any bike trails? Because there is the one along Dubuque Street now.
No, there is, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
The trail is, so nothing really to the east-west. We have Seven Oaks Boulevard, which is the aforementioned entrance with the roundabout that I mentioned. So there is a trail that comes in off Dubuque Street behind the Arlington Ridge and Greenbelt subdivision.
Oh.
That connects to Seven Oaks. And then Seven Oaks would continue down, and where that connection is, that would be an 8-foot trail as well. That's included in the preliminary plat.
Oh, great.
Is the width of Dubuque Street changing at all?
No.
And with the roundabouts, you wouldn't need a turning lane, so no need to.
Well, I mean, it might be some right-of-way acquisition that we need that we'll identify in the preliminary plat, but it's a fairly wide right-of-way as existing, so we don't really, at least the full width. That we won't need additional, but we'll probably need some around the edges where the roundabout is. Yeah.
That's shown in the plat. That's conceptually already identified.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have to live through another decade of turning that into a 4-lane like the 965.
No, and we're actually doing a really good job in the city of these things like Tartan Drive, North Liberty Road, those alternate routes. What happens in some places is you drive everybody onto one road, and that requires you to widen, and that's because that's your only answer. If you create alternative corridors for people to travel, it takes stress off of that. We've done a really good job, I think, of identifying where those roads connect. So hopefully not in our lifetime. I don't think we're going to see a need. In long range, I mean, we work with our partners over at the MPO office to forecast long range, and we're just not seeing a full need to do something like that.
I would imagine 2 roundabouts in that proximity are going to do quite a bit to tamp traffic on.
Yeah, and interestingly, the traffic study that the Watts Group had provided, once Tartan is in, they're projecting that the track, because really Juniper is one of the only southernmost east-west, that will then move down to Tartan and provide some relief to that, which I think will be a relief to some residents. But again, puts pressure on Tartan Street because it's going to be heavily used. So it's really going to be important for us to try and figure out ways to try and, through design, slow people down.
And that section, that street that will be a city project? Or will that be?
It may or may not. It may be, it could be a city project. However, what we're talking about with some other capital projects that we think that'll be done by the developer. But what we've done is, because we don't quite know what those traffic calming features would be, they put a note on there that says, work with the city to implement traffic calming on Tartan. So certainly if it's a city project, we'll have control of it. But if it is a developer one, we'll have some input on that design as well, as we do with all city streets.
Sure.
Well, I move the Planning Commission accept the 2 listed findings and forward the preliminary subdivision plat to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Great. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Yep. Bear with me one second here. Okay. Ahern.
Aye.
Bathke.
Aye.
Willer.
Aye.
Janizer.
Aye.
Mickelson.
Aye.
And Yadi.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Moving on to item number 6, which is a preliminary site plan. We'll start with a staff presentation.
All right. Hold on here. Let me. This mouse is not cooperating, so we're going to have to operate like this. Okay. This is a request of, this is for a 1-story restaurant. This is a Culver's, which is exciting. So we would have a drive-through. It's a 1-story building with a drive-through on 1.57 acres. It is located on the north side of Penn Street, just east of Kansas or Heartland Way on the north side. Property is currently Zone C2, which is our highway commercial district. Comprehensive plan designation is urban high intensity, so the zoning is consistent with the future land use. Just here's a kind of a general layout of what you would see. Of noteworthy is there's no direct access to Penn Street. The access will be to the north. They show 2 driveway accesses, one on each side. Probably from a design standpoint, it'll be similar to the one in Coralville, and same ownership group, or at least in part. Would have that. So they've been really good to work with. But it's a 4,800 square foot fast casual restaurant. And again, you have a couple of drive-through lanes. And then we think we've been working with them a while, and we appreciate these opportunities that we work through concepts and then in the development of the site plan just to make sure it worked with all of our requirements and that the design fit well with the city. Next page is some renderings of what it would look like, high amount of masonry, which meets our code. So we think it'll be an enhancement along that corridor. There'll be a pedestrian access from the sidewalk on the south into the site. There have been no objections to this request. And the one finding is preliminary site plan would achieve consistency with approval standards. And staff recommends you accept that finding and forward the request to City Council with a recommendation for approval. And I know we have some people that joined online. That's part of the technical groups. I know the owners are here, but just in case we get to the technical part, we do have some people online, just in case.
Great. Okay. Now we'll take the applicant presentation. There's one.
Brant Novi, currently with Coralville and Iowa City, just looking to expand into North Liberty. Brendan White is with us as well. He will actually be the owner operator of that location in North Liberty.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
None for the file. Yep.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the commission? I mean, custard, so. All right.
No, nothing.
Do we have a motion?
I move that the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to City Council with a recommendation for approval.
And a second?
I'll second that motion.
Great, thank you. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Let's see. Bathke,
Aye.
Willer,
Aye.
Janizer,
Aye.
Mickelson,
Aye.
Yadi,
Aye.
Ahern.
Aye.
Wonderful, motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, which is a preliminary site plan. We'll start with a staff presentation.
Okay, our last one on here is Murray Elite. This is a sports-related complex with some other activities on site, but it's a large building, so we consider a multi-tenant building on approximately 4 acres. Just kind of shows the old lot layout there, and just because those are the existing lots, we're still going through the development process, as we can all see there. And then again, when the roads and everything's ready to be accepted, we'll approve final plat. Currently zoned C3, and the future land use is urban high intensity, so the zoning is consistent with the future land use. Here's a site plan. We've been working on this a while. It's admittedly it's a large building, so they're really packing it in there. These are sometimes a challenge to meet just because they have high parking standards. And usually with I think there's several basketball courts here, and usually with those types of facilities, one person drives in and then they're waiting, and then the other person drives out. So there's a pretty high need for parking. But there's also a physical therapy office in there that would be kind of operating at different times, and also what we would call personal service area. But like I said, it's a large facility. It's a little over 44,000 square feet. Pretty ideal for that corner. Some of these businesses really want a direct access coming in and out of their site. There is a driveway to the south there, and then there would be a common driveway to the east. But again, really no direct access otherwise besides those 2 areas. So we thought this was a really good use for the property. And again, here's some 2-dimensional renderings. Again, high amount of masonry, which meets our code. We think it's going to look very nice, but we've been working with them. It's a wonderful group to work with, so we're super excited about this, especially at the south end of our city. We don't have any objections to the request, so there's no public input on file. And we do have one finding, which is achieve consistency with the approval standards, and we recommend that you accept that listed finding and forward the request to City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Great, thank you. Do we have a staff presentation?
Hello, Mike Welch with Shoemaker and Holland. We've been working with the Murray Group on this one, and I don't know if I have anything to add, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
All right, any public comment? Wonderful. Any questions or comments from the commission?
Is there some activity happening on the second floor there of the building? Or is it all one level?
No, there's just like a mezzanine on the second level, but not a lot. It's primarily a 1-story building.
Okay.
That's where the left-hand comments got confusing.
Oh. Yeah.
I think it's going to be similar to the Palestra over by Pizza Ranch. They have a small mezzanine at the top, but this has some additional space out the front for physical therapy.
Is there a pedestrian crossing on Dubuque Street?
Yes.
Is it says east of the roundabout? Is there one there at this point, or is it at the intersection?
So
At the intersection.
Yeah,
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, that was
Rather
cut
than
in with
anymore.
the subdivision.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be the safest place
Yeah.
for people to cross. So we really wanted to direct them up. And there's pedestrian connections from that, and 8-foot sidewalks, part 10, part 8, that come around this site eventually, all the way to the east of the subdivision. Ultimately, there will be a school to the east, so 8-foot wide sidewalk definitely we thought was appropriate.
Well, if there's no other questions or comments, do we have a motion?
I would have, but
There we go.
I'll move that the planning commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the city council with a recommendation for approval.
And a second?
I'll second.
And can we get a roll call vote, please?
Okay. Willer.
Aye.
Janezer.
Aye.
Mickelson.
Aye.
Yadi.
Aye.
Ahern.
Aye.
Becky.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, urban renewal area amendment. We'll start with the staff presentation.
Okay, I'll take this one. We actually had this item a month or so, maybe 2 months ago now, for the same project. And what's happened is the project scope and size have increased along with the potential tax value of this project. And so originally, we discussed with the developer that we thought the construction or the final assessed value would come in around $6 million or so. As it turns out, we think it's going to be closer to about $8.2 million, so substantially more, which ultimately results in additional tax dollars. And so what the plan what the plan amendment would be is that we would increase the TIF rebate from, I believe it was 1.2 now to 1.8 million as a result of the additional taxes being generated. This doesn't, one of our main concerns is what's the timeline. The timeline remains the same. It's an 8-year rebate, so that doesn't change. It's just the amount. So at the end of the day, they'll be paying more taxes, and then we would rebate those. So, but that's why the plan needs to be amended. So it's a very similar action to what you took last time, with a higher dollar amount for the total rebate. And just to give you kind of some additional context, the Palestra has a taxable value, an assessed value of about I think it was 7.3 million. This facility is going to be about 10,000, 11,000 square foot larger, so I don't anticipate it coming in any less than 8 million for sure. So, and again, that's a cap. Not to continue to belabor this, but that's a cap. So if they reach that 1.8 in 7 years, then that's as far as we'll go. If they only get to 1.3 million in 8 years, we're done as well. So it's whichever comes first. So what we're looking for is a recommendation to the City Council to approve the urban renewal amendment.
Okay, great. Do we have any public comment? Wonderful. Questions or comments?
No, it's pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah, okay. If there's no questions or comments, then does anybody have a motion?
I motion to accept the revision to the urban renewal plan and with a recommendation to send it to the city council with a recommendation for approval.
Great. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Janezer.
Aye.
Mickelson.
Aye.
Yadi.
Aye.
Ahern.
Aye.
Willer.
Aye.
And Bethke.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 9, approval of previous minutes.
I'll move to approve the previous minutes.
Wonderful. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Motion carries. Item number 10, planning updates.
Yeah, I think probably the last update I gave was we thought the Urban Central District East portion would be on the agenda for this evening. We're still working with the developer about alternative designs to see if, the scope or things could be changed. based on some of the feedback we heard at the Good Neighbor meeting. So I don't know how much construction we'll actually see this year. Sometimes that's good to just give us opportunities to kind of look at alternative scenarios, see what the ups and downs of those are, and those things take some time. So maybe it'll be back next month. May take a little longer or things like that as things go. I think you could see the activity on the Ranch Hall Way side. Interesting to see the BCI building come down, and it was pretty wild to see. And so things are moving very quickly on that side, which is interesting. And exciting. It's just pretty wild to see. So we'll continue to kind of see how that goes. But things overall generally slow down this time of year. So, but it's been a pretty busy year.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries, meeting adjourned.
Work team.